Pieces. I'm your host Gatei Moneki, and in today's show we'll be looking at the internet's takeover of real jobs, with a focus on social media taking over the advertising industry. We now go to our field reporter, Ruth Robin, who will give us views on this matter.
In the modern world today of binary code of zeros and ones that is running our lives today, as it controls us through digitalization and the internet, it has shaped the new world into a different being, and it's not slowing down.
In this new world, there's a saying in almost all markets: innovate or die. This slogan has come as a result of the increased incorporation of technology in virtually every sector, taking over hundreds of jobs. This is currently being seen in the print industry, where technological shifts have caused investors less confidence in printing equipment and print as a whole. SD reports that social media news is taking over traditional media, with Facebook and Twitter being majority of Kenyans' first stop for information, both politics and the news alike. While some view this from a negative standpoint, do the consumers of this new technology feel the same?
And the fact of news, whereby so many printing companies have been cut short because people just go on to be news anchors. People don't read newspapers anymore. People don't know. They just depend on the TV.
For people who would utilize the internet, it is enhancing people to get better jobs.
If there is consequence of people to lose jobs and for us to grow technologically, I think that's a path where we can go.
As we've heard from the people, that technology is helping the world to grow today. What do the experts have to say?
In my opinion, I would say technology is a good thing, because technology caters for all the problems that we have, let's say in like business, science, and everything that we have. Technology will cater for those solutions. I, as an MIS major, one of our goals is to cater for business solutions to IT. We provide business solutions, IT solutions to business problems. That's what we do, like MIS majors. But then the problem with technology is that when we start using technology so much, we're going to replace the current workforce. That's the manpower, the labor, and everything that we have. That's the major problem with technology, because there are case studies in Japan, in China, where they used business automation systems like robots and all that, and then 2 robots were able to replace 50 workers, 50 employees. And that's the biggest challenge right now when it comes to IT and economy and technology right now. What are we going to do with the people that we're going to lay off when we employ technology? When we start using technology, what are those people who we've taken out of their jobs going to do now?
With the promise of efficiency and timeliness, technology looks hard upon those who sustain more practical skills. Reporting for Bits and Pieces, I'm your reporter, Ruth Warohio.
Welcome to the Bits and Pieces. I am your host Gatei Moneki, and today we have with us Nathan, who is a programmer, and he develops different softwares for different practical uses. So Nathan, you've developed different softwares that are still in-house and they haven't been developed yet, but you're basically making softwares that would help people carry out different tasks more easily and more efficiently, like voting or maybe registration and such and such. So you're developing apps that make things much easier, right?
Yes.
So do you think this practice of yours for programming, does it create more jobs, or does it give corporates a chance to consider more layoffs? Like, for instance, the apps for registration, the people who are right now doing registration as a job in different sectors, and then your apps might come in and replace them as employees. So what's your take on that?
My take will be it's a two-edged sword. We majorly, if it's the election app will see a lot of people be out of jobs, like a whole lot number of people. Mm-hmm. But then again, the app is not autonomous, and we cannot have systems that are totally autonomous. So you'll find that there's a specific section of the industry that will have jobs, because we need a little bit of programmers and maintainers of the whole system to actually be there and monitor it. So it's two-sided, and we're having jobs created. The percentage would be small, but and a large percentage of people will be actually laid off.
Mm.
Yeah.
And in regarding to these people who now are not being laid, these guys who are now getting more jobs, people like yourself, like programmers, people who manage this software and the apps, how secure is it as a job as a programmer? Like, do you feel like maybe in the next 20 years there won't be a need for programmers, or in the next 30? Like, how secure is it as a programmer, do you feel like? Because back in the day, people thought these practical skills would keep them in jobs for long, but now here we are coming up with apps that are replacing them. How secure do you think this programming will keep you for years to come?
Okay, on the corporate side, if you look at statistics from the US specifically, you find that there is a large shortage of jobs for programmers. Like, they're predicting that maybe in the next 20 or so years, the number of jobs that are required for programmers will have increased, and there will be less programmers. But then again, you look at the current trends in technology. There's a new artificial intelligence that is in development that can actually code. So we're finding that yes, on a practical side, jobs will be there. Like, there's job security for the next 20-40 years. But then with advancement of technology, this may be counteracted by the fact that we'll create smarter systems that can do the work that we are predicting people are needed to do.
So basically, humanity is going in a recurring state of constantly replacing itself with technology.
Yes.
Okay. So do you ever consider how programming, the expansion of programming can incorporate in business corporates, and how it like affects people who are non-tech savvy? Like, for instance, people who, like I said, do registration. Do you ever think about how it affects these people, or do you just go ahead and program and say that I'm doing my job and it's fine, or do you just, how do you go about this?
A client comes to me and says, okay, I want this software. You have, at the end of it all, you'll have to write a documentation to assist in them knowing that this is how you're going to do the registration, this is how you're going to do how you're going to operate this software. And for the non-techies, you find that's depending with how an individual is open to learning a new skill, then it will be very fast for them to actually get to be able to a point of being able to use the software.
But in a corporate world, look at people who have to go through retraining. And you see companies rather have to employ other people rather than retrain them. So this aspect of now people learning new skills, how are they to go about that when there's already a whole lot of young people who already have these skills who are ready to be employed, and then these other folks, what are they supposed to do?
Learning, as we were told, is a continuous process. And for the people who are in the job market right now and are still sticking to the idea that they are non-techies and don't want to change, it's going to harm them in the long run, because the people out there who don't have jobs completely, and they know that the world is getting digitized, and they go out and, you know what, let me get a digital skill to actually help me. Now, when it goes to the corporate world, you find that when a company approaches you and wants you to create a software to do something specific, they've already done the cost-benefit analysis. They've known that, okay, we will have to maybe retrain the people you already have, and they've factored it in the overall cost and benefit they're going to have from the software, and they said, okay, this is the right choice. If another company comes and says, yes, we're going to create for us, because the software that you're going to create in a corporate world are very specific. So you can't say that someone out there with some computer skills will be able to know how to operate the software. They'll have to come also sit down and know, okay, this is how you're going to work with this piece of software. So it's unless someone completely does not use computers, then that's where the cost of retraining will be high.
All right, thank you for having us. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nathan. He's a programmer. And for the Bits and Pieces, I've been Gatei Moniki. Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Igia Kirigan. I'm going to talk about technology. In the past 2 decades, there has been so much growth within the technological sector. It's quite plain for you to see the changes that have happened. Right now, we have flat screens that are super slim and they fit on the wall so easy, and yet they are super cheap. When before you needed a whole ton of money in order to buy some big box looking kind of television thing. In the past, they had 4 GB storage devices that are the sizes of fridges, and now you have a micro SD that's 128 GB.
easy. Isn't it quite fascinating the way it keeps going on and on and on? Computers right now are like at the highest point in their development. They say that it's been a consistent flow of every 1 or 2 years they advance the computers and everything. This is because of stuff like gaming. I love gaming. And well, other advancements that have really made life a whole lot easier. Right now they have developed an app almost for basically anything. Need an app to measure a wall, there's an app for that. I need an app to know how to cook ugali, there's an app for that. Instagram, you don't have to be a professional photographer to take photos that look all crazy and stuff. Just use your phone and a filter, and blammo, you have a really crazy looking photo.
Mr. Tyler, your Skittles portrait.
Dream on, dream on, dream on! Dream on!
Rock the rainbow, taste the rainbow.
And that's all we have time for today. And we hope you've come away with something different or a new way of looking at things. And from us at the Bits and Pieces, we hope you have a great day. I've been your host, Gatei Moniki. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.